Kanye this and Kanye that. I thought I did my last video on Kanye, but you know what they say, just when I thought I was out.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
So I'm going to get right into it. I'm not going to waste no time. Kanye has broken another level of outrage. Yes, he did. You would think he already did that already, but to make it simple, Kanye has gone into Tupac mode. He's gone into the final stage. He's in Tupac mode now. Um, where do I even begin? Kanye is in Tupac mode because he is ready to go to heaven. So he says multiple times. Multiple times he said this on the podcast. He is ready to go to heaven and stand on what he says. He said he's ready to stand on what he says. He's not bowing down. He's not apologizing to a certain group of people for comments. He said they're going to have to knock him off. And I'm using my words very carefully. He said they're going to have to knock him off. Remember when Kanye said Jay-Z got shooters and begged him not to send them? Remember that?
I've been sent here to give y'all my truth, even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own success, my own career. I've been sent here to give y'all the truth. Jay-Z called me, bro. You still ain't called me. Jay-Z called me. Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them at my head. Just call me. Talk to me like a man.
Well, Ye just told a certain group to come for him multiple times. He also said that he's jealous of this group because of their economic power. And I'll leave it at that. He actually said he's jealous of that. So I wasn't expecting this level. Kanye was very comfortable on the Drink Champs podcast. I watched the full thing. And by the end of it, I said, I got to do another video because now he's gone Black Panther mode. Well, I should say in the interview, he went Black Panther mode. He's speaking up for the Black community again. This is his last stand. He's saying, oh, he didn't say it was his last stand, but he's making, I mean, in essence, since based on what he already told the group, this will be his last stand. This is his last issue that he will go out on his shield for, essentially for rappers. He specifically said he's going to finish what Ice Cube started and he won't bow down to no one. He said that multiple times. He said that multiple times. If you know about Ice Cube, he made some comments about a certain group over some issues with NWA. If you know, you know, right? Since then, Ice Cube's been cool. He's been did family movies, but recently he got into politics. People came at him for no reason. But now Kanye is gonna finish Ice Cube's initial stand when he was a rapper. Fascinating, I have to say. But to me, it doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna jump back on I never jumped on or off the Kanye bandwagon. What was it? It was the slavery was a choice. I got off the Kanye train. I said goodbye, sir. So ever since then, I didn't fold. I didn't go back and forth. I'm not wishy-washy like a lot of people, but I digress, right? So when Kanye was in front of Tucker Carlson, right, he didn't mention nothing about systemic anti-blackness or how the music industry works. He said a lot on the Drink Champs. Like I said, he was very comfortable on Drink Champs. Tucker Carlson, he was very stiff. He was very careful. But on Drink Champs, it was his third time on Drink Champs. And to be honest, I never seen a Kanye West Drink Champs interview at all. So I'm really not surprised he was as comfortable, but he did try to, I guess, say the same things on another podcast, The Shop. Not exactly sure who operates the shop, but they decided not to air it because of the same things Kanye was saying in the Drink Champs. He needed a platform to say what he wanted to say because he really was going to fulfill the mission he said he was going to do on Twitter before they locked his account. If you don't know what I mean, you could check it out. You could check out the last thing he said on Twitter, right? So he carried out the mission 100%. So he's in front of Tucker Carlson. He doesn't mention none of this stuff, right? So granted, he was brought on the show to talk about the White Lives Matter shirt, but that was the first problem. That was the first problem, really. You see, Kanye, he screams all day about Planned Parenthood and Chicago every 5 minutes, but he never mentioned anything about the music industry or the fashion industry or how he was treated, black man this, black man that, right? His whole shtick was to shit on Black Lives Matter through Fox News. So then he jumps on Drink Champs and he's made a 180. He's like a chameleon almost. He's almost like a chameleon pretty much. So Kanye can't stand for the people and then stand with the ops because he wants to be a free thinker. It just can't work. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Kanye cannot do that. Right. So let me make it simple for people because people think, oh, he's a free thinker and he's playing 4D chess and this and that, right? Let me just make it simple for people. Jewish people know who the Nazis and the neo-Nazis are, and they actively work to resist them. Black people, we are not as knowledgeable, right? We don't know who our enemies we don't know who our enemies are. We don't know who the Nazis are against black people. We don't know unless they're wearing a white hood, unfortunately. Unless they specifically state that they're KKK, we don't, black people, the collective, we have a very hard time identifying our enemies or identifying people who don't have any good intentions for us, right? Unless CNN tells them who's a Klan member. They'll listen to whatever CNN says. Fox News, Republicans, Candace Owens, black conservatives, they don't believe in systematic anti-blackness. Or in Kanye's own words, they don't care about black people. So why are you trying to mix and mingle with people who don't believe in your plight, essentially? Because Kanye now wants to talk about his plight in the fashion industry, music industry, and everything, all the issues that he's had with the media now. Now he wants to make himself a victim, but Fox News conservatives, they don't believe in victimhood, especially Candace Owens, especially. So I'm going to circle back now to Kanye talking about Black Panther because people are going to say that, he's pro-black and this and that or whatever. You know, they're not really paying attention. So let me break it down. Let me break it down for people. Let me really break it down. Kanye gave the world, you know, the world is yours. Kanye gave the world or a world of resources to a certified white thought, thought. Kim K, if you're a fan, whatever, call it what it is. She is a glorified thought. She's a glorified thought. Now, ladies or anybody that wants to, you know, say I'm slut shaming or anything like that, or anyone who accuses me of slut shaming, I don't believe you because you do not have a daughter who has a public sex tape. That is correct. Anybody that wants to bring up slut shaming don't have a daughter that has a public sex tape. On top of that, on top of that, on top of you don't not having a daughter with a public sex tape, you've never managed a sex tape for your daughter. Okay? So those who know, right? Those who know. Um, Chris Jenner managing possibly camera woman, maybe. So I'll just leave it at that. Kim K learned her thottish ways from the best, from the very best. Okay. So Kanye, who was warned by the entire world not to deal with her, Kim K, after the tape went public, you know, after the tape went public, Kanye decided to deal with her. It was advised that he shouldn't. He ends up marrying her and he ends up having 4 children with a glorified white thought. Okay, this is Mr. Black Panther. This is Mr. Black Panther now we're speaking on with a glorified white thought. So now people are like, love is love, and you know, why do people have to, if they could find love anywhere, why don't they find love anywhere, right? So anybody who says they're a leader for their community has to be with a partner from their community. It's really that simple. If Kanye wasn't trying to make himself out to be a black leader, that's fine. I don't care. I can't put people who call themselves activists and revolutionaries on the same standards of regular people because regular people are not advocating for the entire community. They're just doing what they're doing, of course. But Kanye is making himself out to be a leader. So imagine if Malcolm X married goddamn Marilyn Monroe. Imagine that. If Malcolm X married goddamn Marilyn Monroe, right? And still speaking all this Black Power ish. Imagine Martin Luther King married Marilyn Monroe. Just imagine that. Just think about it. Because it's not even just that Kim K is white. She is a glorified thought, right? She's a glorified thought. So back then, in those standards, Marilyn Monroe will fit under that same category. Glorified thoughts or the original thought, whatever. right? How about this? Let me give you one more. Imagine this. Imagine Marcus Garvey came to America and married a Playboy bunny. Imagine that. Imagine that. Just think about that, right? This is who wants to position themselves as a leader to us, Kanye West, right? So here's a pop quiz for everybody. If you really know Kanye West, let me know what track or what album is Never Let Me Down on. What track, bonus point if you could get the number, right? Which album is Never Let Me Down? What number? So let's check. Where is it? Boom. College Dropout, right? So let's go to, I'm going somewhere. Stay with me. Stay with me. So let's go down. So Never Let Me Down is on the College Dropout. This is the first album, possibly the greatest Kanye album of all. So Never Let Me Down is number 8, right? So let's go there. We're gonna peruse through this song. And if you're a real Kanye fan, you already know why I'm coming to this song. So let's go down. Let's go down. Okay. Um, right here. Let's go up. Not even worried about this line. Nothing sad as that day my girl father passed away. So I promised to Mr. Rainey, I'm gonna marry your daughter. And you know, I gotta thank you for the way that she was brought up, not brought up like a thought with a public sex tape. And I know that you are bro, I know that you were smiling when you seen the car I bought her. So let's click here. Who is Mr. Rainey and who is Mr. Rainey's daughter? Let's see. Let us see. Kanye is referring to, I think it's Samuke Rainey, who was his pre-fame girlfriend of 7 years. Wow. According to Jezebel, that's like an online publication. Kanye promised her father on his deathbed that he would marry Sumukwe. Wow. He promised a man on his deathbed he was going to marry his daughter. Wow. Oh my God. Can you believe that? Real Kanye fans know about this line. That's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it up. Real Kanye fans know this is Samuke. Okay, so let's recap because we took a bit of a detour. So let me reel it back in and let me put all this in a nice little bow, right? Kanye is on Black Panther mode, leader for the people. But Kanye broke a promise to a man on his deathbed and broke up with a childhood sweetheart to marry and have children with a white thought. Okay? So, now that I've summarized, not only did Kanye marry a thought, a little thought pocket, if you will, he upgraded her and gave her children. And upgraded, I mean that he essentially broke her in the fashion industry and she exploded. She exploded to the point now she may have more influence than Kanye in terms of just the name. Maybe Kanye might have more creative influence because he is a creator. Now he can't handle Kim K having her own status, essentially. Boy, oh boy. Also, if you think about it, the wealth that he accumulated is going to be inherited by Kim. Uh, if anything, well, really, it's going to be for the children, right? Kanye is under the pressure that the children are black. He keeps saying the children are black, right? But Kanye, the children, Kanye needs to understand that the children are biracial. They're not fully black. They're not fully white. They're biracial. They're mixed. And that's not a shade. Biracial is not a slur. It's just a statement of fact. A child with two black parents is different than a child with one black parent and one non-black parent. It just is what it is. Now, some children look mixed, others look white passing, where they can penetrate white spaces. And there's been several cases of this in the Jim Crow era, the segregation, white passing. That's where the term comes from. And we have other cases where biracial people look black, like Barack Obama. So I think Kanye wants them to be black, but the fact of the matter is, his children are going to grow up. They're going to identify themselves. But even still, their upbringing isn't comparable to the average black or even biracial child because their parents are billionaires, multimillionaires. They're living a very privileged life. He doesn't even understand that, but he wants his children to have the black plight. So that's why he's doing it. So Kanye grew an empire of four biracial children with a white dot. I'll say it and I'll say it again. And now we've gotten to the point they're not together now. And now Kanye keeps crying, "Oh, where were you when Kim's kidnapped my children and no one told me except Travis Scott." Right? Now he wants to know where the whole world is to defend him and protect him. Kanye, goddamn. He was warned not to go with her and he decided to marry her, decided to have children with her. What can we do? What does he really expect us to do? He keeps saying, "Oh, you weren't there, blah, 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 blah." He literally gave a white thought millions of dollars of influence to the point where she is now her own name. She was her own name even before because of the tape, of course, but he 10x'd it. So what are we, what was regular people supposed to do? What are even celebrities, what can they do and get in between you? So now he's worried about the well-being of his children. He should have thought of that before he had children with a white dot, right? So the whole Black Panther thing, long story short, I don't care. This may fool some people into thinking that he's a real genius and he played a chess move with the White Lives Matter to get on Fox or some crazy shit. But Kanye, he's a flip-flopper. He goes back and forth. He does this for the algorithm. He'll flip-flop whichever way. But I will admit that he is making a final stand. We'll see how long that lasts. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Now, let me circle back to Kanye in the Tupac mode. Right. Kanye, we are witnessing literally the real life get out. This is the real life get out. Now, this may be shocking to some people. Other people may already know, but Kim K, or maybe I should say the Kardashian family as a whole, is Kanye's handler, in my opinion. Those with knowledge of the industry and of Monarch programming and MK Ultra understand this concept of handlers. It's pretty self-explanatory, but there's a deeper psychological operative and scientific meaning to handler. But if you know, you know. Kanye is breaking free. Kanye is breaking free. Kanye is breaking free, and Kim realized she couldn't control him anymore. If you really think about it, this was after the MAGA hat. This was after the MAGA hat. And Kanye even admitted on the Tucker Carlson about Kim and Clinton. His wife is a Clinton Democrat. So that MAGA hat was basically the last straw because, of course, Trump defeated Clinton in the election. Kim, being a Clinton Democrat, not just a Democrat, but a Clinton Democrat, right? That really set it off. So, Ye embracing this free thinker mode is really just him trying to break away from his wife. In the Kardashians' eyes, he is malfunctioning. And if you really think about it, that's why he's gravitated towards the Republicans and the black conservatives. If you need more proof, look at what he said about George Floyd. After going full Black Panther mode, he's gonna fight for the rappers. He's gonna finish off what Ice Cube had started. Look what he says about George Floyd. As if there isn't a 10-minute video showing exactly what happened. Imagine that. Imagine that. And that goes back to the psychology of black conservatives. He's trying to play a bunch of different moves at once. This is not genius. This is complete madness. I would say it's not genius at all, but this is more controlled chaos because he's going a few different directions at one time in the same interview. The dark and twisted part about this is if he continues to go against that religious group, conservatives will abandon him. Republicans are rank and file allies of Israel. But to prove this, look at what happened to young Pharaoh. Look at what happened to young Pharaoh with the CPAC 2021. He was supposed to be a speaker. So if you don't know Young Pharaoh first came on Sonetter. I have a video called Hip Hop's. I have a playlist called Hip Hop's Biggest Secret. Actually, the first video is called Hip Hop's Biggest Secret. And there was a press conference, a black press conference. Young Pharaoh was involved. He started off with Sonetter, did his own thing, very pro-black, and then he's moved into the conservative, black conservative territory. Um, like I would say 20, I would say 2019, 2020, right? He did have a time where he was more of conservative thinking, especially with all the research he did on the Clintons. Um, I'm not going to mention what type of research, but he was always anti-Clinton, so I understood why he went towards the conservatives. So was CPAC had about to be a speaker. They wanted to broaden the demographic, get more black conservatives involved, or flip more black people into the Republican Party. And he was invited because he was anti-Clinton, right? But he had a debate months before with a Jewish rabbi, and essentially all the stuff that was said by Nick Cannon, by Kanye West, he had an entire debate with a Jewish rabbi. So this was in the internet for a while. He had this debate. And of course, the same thing they were saying about Nick Cannon when he got backlash, the same thing they're now saying about Kanye, they said about young Pharaoh. So look here. This is the American Jewish Committee. Young Pharaoh uses his platform to spread horrific anti-Semitic lies. He has no place on the CPAC stage. Remember, he was going to be a speaker. CPAC leadership must denounce his anti-Semitic conspiracy theories and act to ensure that Jew hatred has no place at the conference. February 2022, 2021. The CPAC was supposed to be February 25th. This was his response. Send me your best rabbi to debate me on anything I've said. If not, kindly refrain from speaking demons on me, right? So, big boss energy on fire from that debate, right? But look what happens. CPAC 2021, same day. We have just learned that someone we invited to CPAC has expressed reprehensible views that have no home with our conference or our organization. The individual will not be participating at our conference. And this is his response. This is censorship at its best, all because I said I do not believe in the validity of Judaism, and I'm willing to place 50,000 on myself to debate the top Jewish rabbi. Now I'm no longer invited to CPAC. Racist dictatorship, young Pharaoh. So it's funny that young Pharaoh finally seen the racism when he got disinvited to CPAC. But we're neither here nor there. So that was a little rundown, right? The problem with young Pharaoh, he got caught up because he didn't understand the enemies that were around him. He was invited, yes. They were warming up to him. Yes, he even had a Project Veritas on his channel a few months before as well too. So he was really gaining that space in the conservative, the black conservative, anti-democrat sphere, if you will. But he didn't understand the enemies that were around him, and the enemies, they were allies, essentially, to the people he was trying to debate. So this is how he got caught by surprise. Boom. So Candace Owens has already been approached to disassociate from Kanye, according to him on that Drink Champs interview. Don't be surprised if Fox News or Tucker puts out a statement disassociating themselves even more. Don't be surprised. They already took down the Drink Champs interview. It was up for a very long time, to be honest. I think it was up for more than 24 hours, but when I watched it, I knew within 10 minutes they were going to take down that video. I knew within 10 minutes. And I wish I did this video while it was still up. But we're neither here nor there. My point is Kanye, he's going to be finished in politics. That's my prediction. If he wants to run, It is going to be stopped. He's going to be systematically shut down. This is just the beginning. I can tell you that. So he did say one thing that was interesting. He got taken out of JP Morgan Chase, right? In the interview, he said that Adidas cannot cancel him for being anti Semitic. He said that. So just have to wait and see what happens. But 100% he's done for politics. They're they're definitely working on the Kanye plan, the Anti-Defamation League. They're definitely working behind the scenes on how to muzzle Kanye. Kanye also decided to buy Parler. We'll see how that goes, but so much, so much. But I'm not jumping on the Kanye bandwagon. Whatever happens to him, happens to him. It is what it is. He's done enough. He's done enough. Should like people might think, should we throw out everything Kanye does because he got with a glorified white thought? The answer is yes, 100%. What message are you sending to the next generation marrying and having children with a glorified white thought, and now it's not working to your favor anymore? Now you expect everybody to come and protect you from said white thought. So yes, this whole just don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. We see what's going on. We see what's going on, but we don't have to defend Kanye. We don't have to jump on the bandwagon for this last stand, right? All Kanye does is run his damn mouth. He just needs to prove himself. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm out.